How is it every time I go to talk is the exact moment you hit that button to start this show? So it's like always when the episode starts, I'm saying something. There's always something coming out of my mouth, be it a yell or fucking me saying something like "show him I'm not to" for no good reason or whatever the hell just happened there. It just happens every episode for some reason. I wasn't even on this screen when you hit that button. I just opened my mouth at that exact moment. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were saying in that episode. It just said something that I was like, I'm gonna leave it in.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's welcome to another great episode of Live from the Bench. We're in a great mood. We're in high spirits. But let's do our introduction. I'm GQ. I'm here with 3 times as dope as any other time. Boulevard, and we are the Live from the Bench crew. Don't forget our intern over there. I don't know what's his name. What's his name?
Turd. I don't know his real name.
Boulevard calls him Turd.
Turd.
It's kind of messed up. What's your name, dude?
See?
I don't know.
He's a pain in the ass, but he gets the
don't
job.
Worry about it. Yeah. The Eagles won. We're super excited about it, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
About the Eagles. So, without further ado, Boulevard, the Eagles beat the Cowboys. And it's not like we didn't expect it. We didn't see this coming because the Cowboys are without Dak Prescott. That's it. Mm-hmm. They don't have Dak Prescott. They had to start Cooper Rush. You saw some Trey Lance, which I knew was coming. But there was no excuse for the win to be this bad because for the most part they had their stars in on defense. They had Diggs, they had Micah.
Micah was back here, and he made a difference in the game.
He did.
Hell, the defense made it. The Cowboys defense got the hurts consistently. They put a hurting on them.
Yeah.
That's not for nothing. Problem was
they had no offense.
Yeah. Cooper Rush. I got the numbers right here, 13 to 23 for a whole 45 yards.
45 yards. That's crazy. Yeah. For the Dallas Cowboys offense.
13 completions for 45 yards.
So is that enough to say that Dak Prescott was worth the money?
If they expected to compete, yeah. But I don't know too many people that full on expected them to compete this year.
I feel like they didn't want to compete when they didn't go after a better running back. They didn't invest anything into that run game.
Problem is Jerry can't commit to a rebuild. His pride won't allow it. He doesn't have many years left in his mindset. So he's got a win now kind of thing. But they fucked up their cap.
Yeah. And I feel bad because one day it is going to be left for Steve and his family and their kids. And I feel like
don't forget the secret kid.
Yeah, the secret kid, the one that he was paying off.
Yeah.
Which honestly, you're that rich, just bring your kid into the fold. Like if I'm rich and I find that I got a kid somewhere, I'm gonna bring him into the fold. Ain't no reason to just keep him out there struggling. Just bring him into the fold. Let him be
struggling. He paid off the mom to keep her mouth shut about him being the dad because he didn't want her to get her grubby little baby hands on his fortune.
But I think the best way to go about that is just bring him into the fold. Bring the kid into the fold. Like, hey, you're a part of this legendary. Whatchamacallit. That way, nobody's trying to get their record in.
Yeah, throw her a job. Why not?
Right.
No harm could it do?
But the game was, what was the score? 34?
34 to 6.
34 to 6. Not at all what I predicted for this game. I thought the score was going to be close, like 23-28. That's what I thought the score would be. It was not at all what I expected. So the Eagles overperformed my thoughts. I think they overperformed what you thought. I think you thought like 27-17 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something that was taking the over, I remember.
Yeah.
Something
I mean, we were right by taking the over. I just think we expected the Cowboys to perform better than they did.
I expected a few plays to slip through the cracks there for the Cowboys. Yeah,
yes, I did too.
I mean, like a fluke touchdown here or there. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the kicker got a few off.
I
expected more than
to
6 points out of them.
Yeah, yeah. I expected to see the Cowboys like get like a blown coverage and somebody end up wide open and take 6. So that's usually what happens.
I mean, CD Lamb was out there.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. I thought we'd see a blown coverage and someone get like 40 yards yak for 6, but it didn't happen.
So, I mean, it's not like the Eagles got a lot of pressure. I mean, they really got to them. They only got them one time. They got 3 sacks. They only got rushed one time, though.
Yeah, I've actually heard a take on the Eagles defense. I'm gonna discuss it later when we get into the third portion of the episode. But it's starting to make sense now. It's and it's starting. I'm starting to understand what the Eagles defense is doing now. I didn't understand it until it was like mentioned, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could see that making sense.
It's easier to see it when it's working.
Yeah.
So like when it's failing, something's going wrong out there. But now that it's working, like, okay, the picture's a little clearer.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you get into that.
So compared to the previous weeks and now, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you feel like the Eagles are a different team? You feel like there's something like
they're not without their holes.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have their flaws, which may, it's a matter of opinion, hold the ball too long.
Absolutely.
You took 5 sacks in that game. That's probably a good reason why. But, I mean, he also got off 7 rushes in that game for a good yardage, over 50 yards rushing and a couple touchdowns off of those, the tush on one, if I'm not mistaken, and that nice little breakout run he had. So, to me, it's like Hurts is picking up rushing yards with his legs, and he's doing it, picking up more yardage than he has been, at least the past couple of games. For this season and last season, he's actually picking up more yardage past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I think that's making a difference. I mean, the real difference offensively is Saquon. Yes. I don't know how much of a difference Kellen Hurts has actually made. I mean, Kellen Moore has made. I don't know. But what I do know is that at full strength, this offense is almost reaching their potential. It's just a matter of Hurts cleaning up the bullshit.
Yes.
Now, defensively, that's where they've surprised me. Because, I mean, up till after the bye week, this defense was mid at best. You could say awful.
Yeah, they were porous as hell.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was a matter of everybody finding their way in it. Or maybe it was just adjustments had to be considered and done, and they're just going with what works now, with what they know will work. But either way, it's working.
Yeah.
That's 5 wins in a row. Three wins in a row, over 20 points in a row. Like, so 3 blowouts on the road, not the same at home, but whatever.
Yes.
I like what I'm seeing. I just hope this team doesn't peak too early.
Right.
Because it seems like they may be in danger of peaking too early.
I actually believe differently, and that's why I want to say, because I feel like earlier in the league, early in the season, the Eagles were playing at their floor, and I've seen other analysts on ESPN, the big channel, saying the same thing. Like, the Eagles are playing, they've been playing at their lowest, and they've been winning, like just playing like poor, like just poor football and winning. Knowing that they're not coming out playing their best football and they're winning. And you'll say the same thing about the Chiefs. So they're
Mhm.
playing at their 4. They know exactly how good they can be. So once the Eagles are like, okay, we're taking steps to get up off the floor. We're not trying to play little like low to the ground football. We're not playing like we're gonna stop playing like a 60 rated team and let's
Mhm.
start playing more like elevate ourselves. And I feel like that's what they're doing. They're elevating their game and playing more to what they could be. They're not who they should be. They're not playing the way they should be playing with such a dominating roster, but they're
Mhm.
playing better. And I think it's gonna get. I don't think this is their peak, but yeah, it could end up being their peak if they let the wrong thing happen. They take the wrong loss at the wrong time, and I feel
Mhm.
like there is no game where the Eagles can like let off the gas. There is no game this year that the Eagles can let off the gas, and especially the reason why I say that because when you got a team like Detroit really playing football like no other team, like Detroit's playing well,
Was that
Washington's playing
7
well.
wins in a row for Detroit too? Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
don't
skilled.
think. Yeah, I don't think that the Eagles can let up at all, and I think the way they're played against this really dominating Cowboys defense, they got to continue that, and they got to continue like what you said. They're going with what works, and I think that's the difference between and we're going to get into our turning points, and I feel like that's the difference between a Nick Sirianni play calling week and a Kellen Moore play calling week is like Kellen Moore, who likes to run the ball, is going with what he knows is going to work. If we got to run the ball 40 times with a combination of Saquon, Jalen, Ship, and Gainwell, he's going to do it. And that's what
Mhm.
he's been doing. He's been going with what works. He's not forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 30 times. He's letting them do what works, that's going to make them win. And I think
Mhm.
as it starts to get colder, I think that's going to come more and more in handy because the defenses aren't going to want to defend against a team that's just going to run the ball 40 times as opposed to throwing it only 30.
Right.
So I think that's a really good turning point. I feel like Jalen is playing better. Everybody else, the supporting cast, starting to play well. Jahan Dotson is starting to show flashes of
Mhm.
talent. I mean, he's
He's
had
made a catch 2 weeks in a row.
yeah two weeks in a row, and they were like really good catches. Like
Mhm.
the last week against the Jaguars, he made a catch that he should not have been able to catch, and then like this past week against Dallas, he made a catch that I didn't think was possible of being completed. He
Mm.
just was just good body position, but body control. So, and then another person that I know Boulevard's really happy to talk about. Zach Bond, he's just been performing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm still stuck on the poor Dallas fumbles. I'm sorry. That's where my brain's been sitting at for like 2 minutes. It's like, has that made a huge difference? And that's not something the Eagles will be able to rely on. Like
Right.
losing 4 fumbles, the Dallas team, we can't expect that out of the Commanders or the Rams or Ravens. Like, you're not going to expect that. So those are the next 3 opponents, by the way:
Who are
Rams,
those
Ravens,
again?
and Commanders, Rams, Ravens.
Ooh.
So you can't expect that performance out of those teams when you got another MVP candidate over there in Baltimore, for one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a rookie of the year candidate and probably the favorite next week. So you can't go in there and expect the team to go out and throw 2 yards a damn completion, average 2 yards completion, because that's not going to happen. They're not going to have the same. It's not going to be as easy in the future. This was the closest thing they have to a gimme win on the schedule because Dallas is all downhill. Dallas
Mm.
is it's a fire. It's a shit show. I don't know how to put it. It's not. They're not good. They're 0-4 at home, probably because they can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was an easy win. This is the game a good team is supposed to win, and they're supposed to win it by 28 points. They're supposed to dominate this team. This is exactly what was supposed to happen. So as fans, we should all be proud, but we should know that this is what's supposed to happen. This doesn't mean as much other than the fact that we beat the Cowboys. Okay, this next game matters more because we won this game. This next game matters more. And if we win that game, then that game after that matters more because we're facing an MVP candidate, a Super Bowl contender, what have you in Baltimore. So, yeah, I think I'm glad they didn't overlook Dallas this week. I'm glad it wasn't a trap game as I theorized or feared. I'm glad they stayed focused through the game. I'm glad they dominated.
Yeah.
What did I learn from this game? Even Kenny Pickett's going to get off on him because Dallas is that bad. I don't know. What lessons did I come from that? Gainwell averaged over 4 yards a carry, and he don't do that. Not much I can say statistically that I learned from this. It was just another terrible performance for Dallas and another great performance for our rookies and the Georgia boys. There's not much else I can gain from it.
Yeah.
That's what we were supposed to do.
Well, we're going to shift a little bit to some fun. Okay. We're going to, this is a little segment that we just thought about. We came up with, and as Boulevard tries to shift his cramps and the aches out of his body, we're going to talk about a new segment of the show that I think might be fun. It's called What Did the Fans Say?
Ooh.
We're going to go around and talk about comments and that we've gotten on our page, what we've seen on Twitter, Instagram, all our different social media pages in response to various posts about the Eagles game. I have a few, and then Boulevard's going to give us more. He's going to go straight to the source. But this one I have, it's from a comment that I seen this morning from a Facebook user. In response to the video, I'm guessing he's a Cowboys fan. He said now they have to beat the Giants. This is one of those comments I'm like, yeah, but no, because they already beat the Giants. We saw that game. That was a mollywhopping, a shellacking. They destroyed the Giants. They don't have to beat the Giants. Giants aren't anybody that you have to prove. The Giants can't even beat themselves. They didn't beat the Panthers. So, like, the Panthers, come on now, the Panthers. They lost to the Panthers. Why are they a factor against the Eagles? The Eagles shouldn't have to prove themselves against the Giants. The Giants are cooked. They're done. They're donezo. They're competing with the Giants for the worst team in our division. They're not somebody I'm concerned about. Another comment. The Cowboys are an insult to even the CFL. I don't know what that means, but it seems offensive. It was somebody posted it on Instagram. It seems offensive for somebody to say that, because if I was the CFL, I'm like, wait a minute. What does that mean? Because are you saying that the Montreal Alouettes are better than the Dallas Cowboys?
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, the Edmonton Eskimos. I don't really know. The Winnipeg Silver Bombers or whatever.
Blue Bombers.
I'm just throwing out names at this point. But the Toronto All Blacks.
Argonauts.
Yeah, whatever.
I know my CFL.
I mean, I'd like to watch CFL if it was more. If I knew where to find
BC Lions.
Yeah. That's just a funny comment that they're an insult to the Cowboys are an insult to the CFL.
That's funny because I got one over here that says CFL will lose ratings. America, you keep them.
What?
Yeah.
I think Canada's pretty good with their shit.
And of course, my favorite. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to put this one out there. It's so good. The real test will be Can they beat the Giants?
Yeah.
Hey, you're a fucking comedian, guy, girl,
Yeah.
whoever. You're funny as shit.
Yeah. People are just saying whatever they want. They just want to hate just to hate. This one, Cowboys got shitted on by Kenny Pickett in the fourth. I feel like Boulevard said this, but I don't know. I feel like Boulevard said it, but I don't think it was. It might have been somebody else.
It might have been somebody else. I ain't taking
Boulevard
it.
coach signed it.
Prescott and Jones are lovers.
Now, here's where the celebrities come out. We got 2 celebrity comments. It's always good seeing the Birds beat up on the Cowboys. And that was a Philadelphia great, Nick Foles. He said that. Big Dick Nick.
Yeah.
Can't believe I just called him that.
That's his name.
And another one, Quinion Mitchell does not get beat. And that was the great Baldinger.
Yeah, that's Baldy. Yeah. Saw that earlier. Like, that made my day. Yes. Dev Texas and Quinion Mitchell does not get beat. I want that t-shirt.
You got any more you got over there at the go straight to the source because we need a couple more of those because those are fun.
All right, let me say. Is them boys going to the Super Bowl? Someone said with a straight face. The entire Cowboys team needs to be drug tested. Somebody said a response to them boys going to the Super Bowl. Are they going to work the concession stands this year? Passing out free stuff to fans of real teams? Burn.
They don't like the Cowboys. They're
Even the fans of them say, I'm in DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. Even I'm laughing. My favorite part of Sunday is to see how bad the Cowboys get beat. Me too. Me too, guy. Me too. That and who the Eagles blow out on the road. Three blowouts in a row on the road.
You gotta love it.
Jack Pond, player of the week, linebacker of the week, 3 weeks in a row.
That is awesome. Because
no one else is going to call attention to it, damn it. Live from the bench is going to call attention to that man's
absolutely. Because I'm gonna say us fans that were at that Eagles practice and they booed Zach Bond, y'all gonna regret. I mean, not y'all didn't boo him. You kind of just
didn't acknowledge him.
Didn't acknowledge his presence because the Eagles did boo a person. They booed James Bradbury.
I could see that. We still booing
hilarious.
Bradbury.
But yeah. So you already went over what's next for the Eagles. You said it was Washington, St. Louis, Baltimore.
And Baltimore, yeah.
I know what I said. Y'all back at home. I know what I said. Don't try to correct me. I know what I said. I know what I said.
The good news, once we get through these 3, we get the Panthers in Philly. So that should be a nice little.
There you go, your trap game right there. The game you need to be concerned about. The Eagles
Bryce Young, nah. Even though he looks better. Is better the right word?
No.
He
looks stable. Like he's in stable but critical condition.
Yeah. He looks conscious, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly awake now. So, but
he's not going to get up and start running towards success, but he knows we're in the room.
Yeah.
I don't see that him being a factor too much.
He sees the exit.
So I think if the Eagles can can pull out 2 of those 3, we stay in good standing. But we don't want to lose.
We have to beat Washington.
Yeah, we have to beat Washington. I understand. I'd be receptive to a Baltimore win, but not a Rams or Washington win because you want to keep W's while you're in this conference. But you want to make sure
about the AFC teams in January.
I'd rather stay ahead of Washington, and I feel like if Philly beats Washington, I think Washington's going to begin on a little bit of a slump. So
yeah, could be.
that's usually what happens in our conference. Somebody loses a game and then they go in a little bit of a slump.
Well, Cowboys been on a slump all season. So, and then the
Giants have
Giants,
been on a slump since Eli left.
yeah,
Whew.
maybe even since Tiki left.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question.
The shirt makes me look
Question
fat.
of the episode, the main event. Have the Eagles turned things around? Did they figure their stuff out? Boulevard, what do you think?
I think they're about 92% complete. That's why I think they're figuring it out. They figured out what works, but they still have their flaws. They still have flaws.
Absolutely.
Fewer defensively than I would have thought. They're better defensively than I ever could have seen. That D line looks a lot better. Zach Bond has been a fucking savior. And the rookies in the secondary are just, well, Quinyon Mitchell better be rookie of the year. So,
yeah. I don't see anybody else can really compete with that.
No, I feel like he locked it up yesterday. I mean, he probably didn't lock it up officially yesterday, but I mean,
I don't know.
He didn't. He gave up what 40 yards that game. 40 yards in coverage.
I think that's the most all year.
Yeah. So, ain't nobody coming for a spot anytime soon.
Yeah.
Some rookie gonna need a 4-sack game or some shit.
So what I was referring to earlier with the whole Vic Fangio system. Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize this until somebody pointed it out, and it was somebody who pointed it out. I'm not sure if it was Orlovsky or who it was that pointed it out. The Eagles are running a lot of contained style defense with their edge rushers. And that was something that I'm like, wait a minute, they're not rushing a lot. They're right rushing a passer. They're playing a lot of contain, which it does leave a lot of pressure on the big D tackles to stop the run up front. But that contain has been working. And that's why you see a lot of them stopping those short passes not getting out. And those did hurt the Eagles in the past. It was hurting the Eagles. Those guys that get those short passes out in the flat, and the Eagles are getting destroyed. But it's not so much happening so much anymore because you got those guys like Sweat and I don't want to say Huff, but
Huff had the strip sack. Last game he was quality. He was acceptable. He's coming around now.
Yeah, it's like those guys are disrupting those short, flat passes, and they're forcing those players to actually try to get away from those swarming Eagles defense. And you're getting those tackles. And then and this is where I feel like it's really working, is because when Sweat or Huff are out there on those contained, disrupting those short, flat passes, Zach Bond is usually there cleaning it up. And the Kobe Dean's there to clean it up, doing so much better than they have in the past. Taking those tackles. Jalen Carter's really showing how athletic he is. So I think that's something that I didn't really notice until somebody pointed it out, and I actually watched. As
far as the contain, what helps contain is when you have solid coverage.
Yeah.
If you have solid coverage in the secondary, that makes everything up front go flow a lot more easier.
Yeah.
One hand washes the other, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm cleaning my bowl right now.
And I think another thing that is probably going to have a lot of people upset, maybe, I don't know, because y'all might agree with me. A lot of that change, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of it changed when Avonte Maddox was benched for Cooper DeJean. Because Cooper DeJean is a lot better than Avonte Maddox was. But I've always been, I've always believed that Avonte Maddox has been a liability. I'm not a fan. I haven't been a fan of Avonte Maddox for about 5 years.
Yes, you've been on record for that for a while.
Yeah, I don't like Avonte Maddox. So
Long before live from the bench.
yeah,
Was even a glimpse in his daddy's nutsack.
I believe that I said I didn't like Avonte Maddox in the Super Bowl. So yeah, and that's been some time now. 5, I don't know. I can't do math right now. But yeah, I feel like they're starting to figure it out. I think especially on the offense, not relying on Jalen Hurts to throw a lot of passes.
Yeah.
Actually helping. Because I feel like the day when you have to really stop pressuring Jalen Hurts because you got to wait for him to run the ball is going to be a problem. Because there's going to be a moment where that man's going to start breaking out for like 300. Because you know it's going to happen. Either y'all sit back there and y'all try to double team both Devontae and AJ, and you got to worry about Jalen or Saquon or Dallas. The field is opening up for them, and it's just way too many options for you to cover. And then you've seen somebody, Jahan Dotson, he's starting to figure himself out. Johnny Wilson scored a touchdown, which I'm super cool about. And then somebody who's not getting a lot of credit for his development, Grant Calcaterra. He's been playing a lot better this season. Has shown that he can be a nice traffic receiver, make some good catches in traffic. So, I mean, they're figuring it out. I think they're getting their head out of their ass.
Guess how many catches Grant Calcaterra had last game?
How many? 0?
None.
None.
He had one target. Enos Smith had one target. Johnny Wilson had that one touchdown catch. Gainwell even had a target. Saquon had one target. Devontae only had 3. I mean, granted, they both threw the ball, 20 times?
Yeah.
But it's still just crazy to see all these, the way it was spread around is strange to me because it was like the Devonta A.J. Brown show for the most part in the air. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to see some more of it.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Well, if Boulevard doesn't have anything else left, do you? Right?
Does Boulevard have anything else? Not particularly, not this game, but I do have a few things I got to ask you about.
Ooh, we got questions.
Well, not necessarily questions, but yeah, okay. Top 3 quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. Cam Newton has 75. Josh Allen has 58. Jalen Hurts has 51. Now, the way they use the tush push, who do you think catches Newton first, Hurts or Josh Allen?
Hurts. I feel like Hurts passes Josh Allen this year. And with the season ongoing, he passes him this year. I think because Jalen Hurts has been didn't he have 2 this past week? He had 2 touchdowns this past week. I think that's a trend for him. He's gonna get 1 a game just by the way they used that tush push. He's gonna get at least 1 a game. So I feel like, yeah, he surpasses Allen this year because Allen is being more of a passer, which, I mean, that's what I want to see from Allen. He has the ability. He shouldn't rely on that being a rusher. And I think that's where he passes Allen because Allen is going to drop back and be a passer because he has receivers that can catch the ball finally. So I think he'll rely less on his arm and not risk his
legs. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts will probably be pushing Cam Newton in the next year or 2.
Maybe 2 years. It won't be there after this season.
Yeah, no, I think he'll hit 60.
24 touchdown lead, so he needs 25 to beat him.
I think he'll get the 60 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I see him finishing with how many games they got left?
7 or 8.
Yeah, I can see him getting 2 touchdowns,
7.
At least 1 a game. 1. I see him average at 1.5 touchdowns a game.
Okay,
on the ground.
That sounds crazy to me in theory.
In
55
theory,
is fair to me. If he
I-
finishes with 55, 4 more rushing touchdowns. But you're right. I mean, the way they're playing, the way it plays out, he tends to have the ball in his hands on the goal line.
yeah,
So
they don't
he
really
vultures
run
a
it
lot.
in the goal line with anybody else but him. And the thing is, like defenses, they know it's coming and it's still successful most of the time.
Mhm.
I feel like the only team to really figure that out has been Jacksonville. And that's because like Doug knows Philly better than anybody.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts. Those are our thoughts.
I mean,
Anything
they
else?
could give it to Saquon more on the goal line. I'm just saying.
They
Huh?
could. I agree with that. I would
That was
like to
all
see.
weird. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'd like to see them put the ball in Saquon's hand more in the goal line. But Saquon being such an unselfish beast that he is, I don't think he's complaining.
He's not complaining. Why would he? First place looks really good. I don't think he's been there before. So
Yeah, the fact that he's never beaten the Cowboys, like that was the first time he's beaten the Cowboys, is crazy to me.
Hmm.
And
it's
that's
the
like
first
that
time the
stat.
Eagles beat him in Dallas in years.
Yeah, and that's like that stat the other year because this stat it has nothing to do with this game, the Eagles or the Cowboys, but Derek
Mhm.
Carr losing to every team. That is I don't for no reason. I have no reason for this stat to be in my head as much as it is, but Derek Carr has lost to all 31 teams. I wouldn't even be surprised if we say he's lost to all 32 teams. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
he's got the 32nd one on his schedule. He's got the Raiders this year.
Okay, so he
on his
hasn't.
schedule.
Oh yeah, because he hasn't. Yeah, okay. I think they probably will get that win. I think they'll beat the Raiders.
You think the Raiders? Jesus.
I think
So, I
they'll beat.
mean, like all those numbers say the Cars may be the worst pair of brothers that ever played in the NFL.
Oh, they are. I would say that they're worse than the Detmers. How disrespectful can that be, right? I know. They're worse than the Detmer brothers. Because
Ty and Coy.
and this
Fucking
is why
Coy.
I say that because Ty and Coy were like glorified. They were truly backups, like they were like the backups backup.
Mhm.
But they didn't lose as much as David Carr did. So
Yeah, I mean, Eagles. He didn't lose that season for the Eagles, Detmer. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
So messed
My
up.
my next question is also about records. Derrick Henry has 102 touchdowns. I believe he's in 10th place, 8th place, something like that. 5th place is Walter Payton at 110. I remember I said Henry has 102. Can Henry catch Walter this season? Does he have 8 more rushing touchdowns in him?
Does Derek Carr have 8 more touchdowns in him?
Derrick Henry. Yeah. Derek Carr has nothing.
Yes. I feel like he does. They're not going to stop giving this man the ball. I think the only thing that's stopping him is injury. And
Yeah.
if he stays healthy, he's getting it. 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. I might just want him staying healthy. Because they don't seem to be really bringing him down. So
yeah. The only thing I feel like is out of Derrick Henry's reach is 2,000 yard season. That's it.
Probably. I mean, it's 2,000 yards. If he hit it again, if he hit it, wouldn't he be the only person to hit it twice?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But if he hits 110, I was going to say, is he a Hall of Famer? But he's already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Pretty sure everybody who clears 100 rushing touchdowns is in the Hall of Fame. It's like John Riggins, Emmett, LaDainian.
Me.
Huh. Actually, it's, Emmett, LaDainian, Marcus Allen, Adrian Peterson, Walter Payton, Jim Brown, John Riggins, Derrick Henry, Sean Alexander, and Marshall Faulk. Sadly, Barry Sanders is number 11 at 99.
Here's a question. If Jalen Hurts continues this for another 5 years, can he pass 100 touchdowns? Would he be a Hall of Famer?
He's at 50 now, 51. What was it? Yeah. if he can, yeah, I mean, if he can get 8 touchdowns a season, that's 40 right there.
Yeah.
So anything more than that's a bonus. And that's even just considering 5 off the tush push, 6 off the tush push. So yeah, he could feasibly be the first rushing quarterback with 100 touchdowns.
Is he a Hall?
Yeah, if he does that, absolutely. That's what today. No,
that would be insane.
As of today, no, he's not a Hall of Famer yet.
That would be insane. That would be like crazy. Because like Cam Newton's you said Cam Newton's the all-time leader in rushing touchdowns for QBs.
75 touchdowns. Yep.
That'd be insane. Jesus. 75 is just an outrageous number.
Like, to me, I put it this way. In 10 years from now, either Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts will probably have that record.
Yeah.
Unless somebody just comes in and just changes the game again.
I feel like if Michael Vick had the opportunities he had and didn't cover for his brother, because I refuse to believe that he had anything to do with it. I 100% believe that he covered for his brother.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do know there's a quarterback in Michigan right now I believe he's number 1 in the country, and he's going to LSU. And this kid might be the one. He might be the one 4 or 5 years from now. They can actually change it, but I don't even remember dude's name off the top of my head.
I welcome it. I can't wait to see you in the league, buddy.
Of course, evolution is always good for the league.
Yes.
Next up, and I'll probably leave it here, Eberflus. Why is he still there?
Because Chicago is a horribly run organization. And I remember a while ago, last season, I think it was last season, or in the off season, I put out this that post. I mean, we put out a video about the fall or the defamation or whatever
of Justin Fields. Yes,
it was Justin Fields, and a lot of people are very upset about it.
It was a hit,
and I bet you guys aren't feeling that bad about it now because we posted a video. I mean, we saw some stats recently about there's really no difference between what they did with Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams. And you want to say it's rookie versus it's Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields. I feel like we need to stop that narrative because obviously it's not Justin Fields' fault that Chicago has not been successful.
Clearly.
Caleb Williams' fault that you guys are not successful. Stop with the comparison between Justin Fields because he is not the reason that the Bears were not winning. Clearly, you went out and gave Caleb Williams all the weapons that you could have gave Justin Fields and saved a pick. But instead, you guys are seeing the same lame duck shit you've been seeing.
Maybe they could have spent that pick on that left tackle. That's now what you can't get past them. Joe Alt. Yeah, maybe just
they could. You could have done that, but you chose to do that. So at this point, I feel as though Eberflus should have been fired. Ryan Poles should have been fired. And the reason I say this is because the winning is not always going to start at their quarterback position. If you're seeing no change in the success from quarterback to quarterback, it's an organizational problem.
It's definitely an organizational problem.
And I believe that Eberflus should have been going 2 years ago.
Do the math. Poles has been there for a while. Eberflus has been there for a while. They haven't been to the playoffs in a while. This is not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 dudes I just named haven't been to the playoffs with this team. They've had more than enough time to get there, to have success. Maybe the GM had a playoff year, but they had enough time to actually find some success. But they're not. They're still just treading water, trying to stay afloat, trying to stay alive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They went out, they got the number 1 pick. He's not it right now. But it's not. I mean, we know he has the talent to be it.
Yeah.
We know he has the talent. But from what we've seen, we don't know that he has the coach. Because the coach has already shortchanged one career. And he got a pass on that one because there was an agenda to destroy Justin Fields, to make him the scapegoat. They succeeded. Poles, Eberflus, they succeeded. Dude got all the blame. So now he's out here fighting for his next season, who he's on his next contract next season. So, but Eberflus still continues to tread water, even though they've given him all the pieces he could use. Nothing is still not breeding success. So, if the GM gave him the weapons and he still failed, then he failed. He's proven he can't do it at the level that we all expect that team to perform at, or any team to perform at. So you need a new coach. I mean, that took a long road to get there, but the point is, Eberflus has not shown that he is an acceptable or a quality level NFL head coach.
I agree.
That's all I was trying to get to. But he's failed at his job. And at this rate, he's going to take down another quarterback.
Yep. And y'all be looking
at him out of there. Get him out of there. Call Bobby Slowick. Call Todd Monken. Call Ben Johnson. Hell, call one of those coordinators that can come in and salvage Caleb Williams before it's too late.
I like it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around. And if you stuck around, hit the like and subscribe button. Let us know what you think in the comments. And to that I say, in a world where competition and success is something that everybody wants now, right now, it sucks because we can't all be starters. And when it comes down to where certain people belong, there's no one else in the world that can tell you better than Boulevard. Boulevard, if you may.
All right. Well, let's see. You got Eberflus, Poles, Cooper Rush, Jared Jones, and Zeke Elliott, just because fuck him. All of you can hit the bench.